Sup YouTube, welcome back to another video documenting my journey to legend. First things first, as they usually are, new layout, props and shout out to Matt and Rec, two members of our Discord community who helped me out with the layout. I really appreciate it, guys. I think it looks pretty freaking fresh, but without any delay, let's get into these battles. So I'm still rocking Clodsire in the lead, but I saw that everybody and their grandmother was rocking a Poliwrath response, and while Swampert is a water type, it does resist the plentiful lanterns I was seeing. So as you're gonna see in this battle, or in this video, we run into so many not bee lanterns. And in our first battle, we are getting absolutely cooked. Who brought out the slow spice, man? I couldn't believe that shit. This battle, like most of my other videos, are gonna be primarily my losses. I did go positive with this team. Ended the day close to veteran. I haven't hit veteran just yet. I'm still trying to make Derp Knight work, and honestly, like, there are just so many better dragons out there, sadly. But you know, we cooking a little bit. 3 Hydros from a Shadow Swampert do not KO Altaria. That is absolute baloney. I'm gonna have to eat both of these Sky attacks since they pretty much farmed me all the way down. And then I'm just gonna hope to get some damage off on this Slowbro. Had I know, as you're gonna see, that my opponent wasn't gonna shield, I probably would have full sent the Quake. But I figured up this amount of energy, they might respect it. There I should have gone for the EQ, but you're going to see that they're going to shield in a second. So I swap out into Dragonite after I do 1 Poison Sting to optimize the amount of energy on the Clod. Maybe it has some, it can put in some work in the back. And that right there was my lose con. I should have no-shielded, because I was going to lose this match regardless. If I no-shield a Scald, then I have 2 shields for this absolutely annoying Bear Trap. Because you're going to see that they don't get to another move here, and I would have maybe survived just enough time to get both of these next Dragon Claws off. I could have overfarmed and, you know, ended this match maybe a little bit better, like that freaking confusion chunk, but I would have had much more health on my Mons. So just like an RPS team, but there was still possibly a win con. Deoxys lead, how I like to play it out, is I just stay in. Typically, they full send the Psycho Boost immediately. This one doesn't. This one overfarms. So I CMP on the back-to-back. I'm going to tank, or do I shield? Okay, I guess I respect it since they're unlikely to bait. Like, there's no real reason I should take that damage. But more often than not, I take the first response and then swap out. Now, at the time of rocking this team, I forgot that I had Swampert in the back and not Poliwrath. There's an incredibly popular team going around that's... Deoxys lead, Vig, and Guzz in the back. And so Poly does really good against Guzz. Swampert, not so good. Swampert does type Shikaka against Guzz. So, I pretty much what you should be doing is after they full send the Psycho, stay in with Quag, or with the Claude, sorry. And just do as much damage as you can. I was going to try to farm this thing down. It's nigh impossible. And they come back in with the Deoxys. They're probably going to debuff themselves. I think I'm going to go for the Rock Slide, try to get some damage off, and here is why Swampert is a horrible response. I did not realize that 1, these Dragon Tails are chunking, but 2, this crunch is going to leave me pretty much dead. So yeah, very poor planning on my part. I should have came in with Swamp against the Vig. I would have had much better play. I could have just let Swamp go down. I didn't really need energy. I've started to notice that with this team, I need shield advantage and I need energy on Dragonite. Skarmory is another pretty difficult mon for this team. My only real response is Swampert. And now I'm just going to try to CMP. Oh, I guess not, I'm not CMP. I'm making sure that they don't catch my move. And now that they've debuffed themselves, which is even better for me, yes, I'm gonna have to shield up a Sky attack. I would have preferred to have shielded Brave Bird, but that's fine. You know, you can still. I wait for the swap, which we get, and like an Anubis, because I still think I'm rocking the Wrath for some reason. I come in with Swampert instead of Derp Knight. Like, what the frick, man? Whatever. It is what it is, you know. I don't want to go down 2 shields. I need shields for this Dragonite. I try to CMP on the Mud Bomb because I figured that's when they would throw. They didn't get the debuff, so this is still nice damage. Sorry. But yeah, we get the KO. I come in with Dragonite. I've managed to farm down before they make a move. I think they were at the move. And here I'm not going to throw. I'm going to wait for them to throw to hopefully they throw on poor timing, but they don't. And I'm just going to send off a Dragon Claw. Hopefully we can clutch out a win. I feel like I've lost all these games so far. If you're enjoying the battle so far, definitely leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Dragon Tail all but KOs. I didn't want to swap out just in case, you know, like they were able to farm down my Claude. A Guzz lead is much better than a Guzz in the back, because this thing pretty much tears my team apart. Dragon Tail from Dragonite do chunk, but it's not a commanding matchup for Derp Knight. Like, you need to be up a shield. Preferably they have 0 shields and you're up a shield. Here I'm gonna tank one more move. I wanted to go for the extra Poison Sting damage. There I just let the move go through because I thought that would KO, which it does. And I think I'm going to come in with Dragonite. I don't think they're going to make it to a move. I do take an oppressive, obscene amount of damage. And here, this looks like a bad situation, right? So far, I'm throwing on proper timing. I'm full stunning the EQ. They don't shield, which is great. And now, my boy, I could have farmed down. I should have farmed down, even if they expend both shields. I should have farmed down to have a Hydro loaded for this thing, because regardless, it would have only have gotten one flame charge off. And because I throw on poor timing here, had I thrown on correct timing, I would have made it to the back-to-back Dragon Tails and allowed myself a possible win con because they are in Dragon Claw range. But again, I don't know if you guys experience this, but sometimes you're like playing and your brain just freaking shuts off for a second, like that Toad gif. You're like, what the hell do? I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I forget how to play. I forget my name. All that jazz. I forget what the lead was. Is it Licky? Damn, I spaced out. For Licky leads, I like to just stay in. And it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if they shield or not. Like, I'm not going to invest shields into Quagsire, because where there is a Licky, there is also a Gligar. And quite possibly a Trev. So I want shield and energy for the 2 back mons. Everybody is rocking a Poliwrath response, but not everyone is rocking a Swampert response. There's a case to be made. You could use a different Mud Boy. Like, I just prefer Shadow Swamp. Obviously Shadow Swamp costs you an Elite TM, but that's not the worst thing. And here I make another critical error. They're not at the Body Slam. Wait, do I not? Oh, I do shield it. Fuck. So they're not at the Power Whip. I should have just let that go. Like, it doesn't matter that they're gonna get damage off on me. I know there's a Gligar in the back, and one Hydro doesn't KO. So now that they haven't thrown their energy, I'm just gonna let Swampert go down. I'm gonna trust in Dragonite to hopefully clutch this out for me. But what I should have done was just let that Body Slam damage go through. I would have been in a much better spot. I could have shielded one of these Aerial Aces. And I'm hoping they're not gonna make it to a move. But I'm hoping that one Dragon Tail KOs, and that's exactly why I should have no shielded. So I just played that pretty poorly. And that was one of the few times where what was in the back is not at all what I was expecting. So hindsight, obviously, right? Like, I could have double shielded or whatever, but just not the play for what I typically have seen. Again, another Licky lead. I'm just gonna stay in. They throw their move off immediately. They do correctly go for the Body Slams, and here I'm just gonna swap into Swampert. I think what happened was I was traumatized by that freaking Carping in the back. So I was like, you know what? This is fine. Like, they didn't build up to the Power Whip, so I didn't shield there. I believe one Hydro KOs from this range, and I think I probably should have thrown that off immediately. But again, you want energy on Swamp, and I'm not yet in a range where they'll be able to wing attack me down so easily. I am now. And what do they bring in? I don't know if I just get to one move. I do, or I thought I did. I might have been able to make the EQ since I survived this this move, but it didn't really matter. Like, I want to align my Claw to the Charger Bug, but here I make a mistake. No move threatens me from that health. There's a freaking Azu in the back. I needed that energy on Claude. And this is one of the issues I had with this team. While I do like Claude in the lead, I'm starting to think that the better moveset for the lead is to rock Mudshot, Sludge Bomb, and Stone Edge, and bait the EQ. for all the mons where EQ is needed. But I think that for what I was seeing in the lead, because I was starting to see a lot of Azu leads, there's always a Dragon lead, flyers, like you just need that flyer coverage, but Poison Sting might do better since this team is pretty weak to fairies, especially an Azu lead. So I'm going to try that out next time. Again, see the flyers, like you want that Stone Edge coverage, but you don't always necessarily need that, that EQ coverage. The only reason I was keeping EQ on it was because I didn't want to get hard-walled by Basti, Vic, Medi, or Basti, whatever in the back. So that's why I was keeping it on there. But I'm starting to think that it might be better to rock Sludge Bomb and Stone Edge instead of, and Mudshot instead of Poison Sting and Earthquake. So we go for the next Stone Edge. My opponent, I think, just miscounted, which is why they didn't throw. And I wait too long to come in with Dragonite. If they're coming with a Jelly, just immediately swap out. Save the energy on that Claude for whatever's in the back. They're likely to bait, which they do. But luckily for me, my opponent doesn't build up to the next Shadow Ball, so I know I can disrespect this. And I'm just going to farm up a little bit. Wait for the catch, which is what you saw me do there. I waited a turn to make sure that the Hex animation was coming through. And I think I see a beat. No, okay. I just get this move off immediately, just to not take any more Hex damage, because what do they have in the back? A freaking Serperior. There I throw an extra Dragon Tail because I knew they would throw on alignment just to try to get rid of me, and I want to throw on proper timing. My issue there, though, is that I didn't realize that I wasn't going to survive to get to another Dragon Tail, because Derp Knight too thick. So now I have to come in with Swamp to get as much Mudshot damage in and to force them to throw a Frenzy Plant. Otherwise, my Claude is not going to survive that, and I'm able to Poison Sting them down. So I think we've won like 2 battles in this shit. I'm much higher up in terms of elo now, so I do recommend this team. I just, this is why I play it first. That way you can learn from my mistakes. Rock Sludge Bomb, don't rock EQ, and rock Mudshot. This is another reason why you want that Stone Edge coverage. Again, always wait the turn just to see the animation come through. There's been a lot of bugs in the game lately, so it's not 100% accurate. But against Mantine, for example, you do outpace the Stone Edges. And then at this point, like Dragonite is why I would consider somebody's running Mantine. So I'm just going to trust in Mantine, in Dragonite. And they had the move. I don't know why they didn't throw it, but I guess they flopped, and we managed to take that win. They must have panicked. But again, another Azu lead, a reason you should be rocking Sludge Bomb, because ever since the bubble buff, these bubbles actually do be chunking. I go for the EQ since it hits harder, but if I had Sludge Bomb, 1, you get to 2 moves, and even if they hit you with a Hydro, you win the zeros. And then you just trust in Dragonite and Swampert in the back. They happen to have another fairy. I wonder what their third freaking mon is. And unfortunately for me, I don't think we're going to find out because they end up shielding one of these. And my Swamp just isn't thick enough, even though it has what I consider pretty decent IVs. I think it's like top 125 or something like that. I don't make it to the last one, so maybe a better IV Shadow Swamp would have allowed me to survive there. And especially when they shield this next one, I just know I'm not gonna be able to make it out of this alive. So I see that charm damage go through. I'm like, ah, fuck, there's no shot in hell I'm farming this thing down. So I just let Dragonite go down and I can see the match. I believe this is the last battle of the video. Again, if you've been liking the video so far, if you like the layout, definitely let me know down below. If you don't like it, keep your mouth shut. I'm playing. No, let me know what you don't like, and maybe I'll be able to change some things. This is why I was rocking. I thought I could get to 2 superpowers, which is why I built up to the back-to-back. But this is why I rock EQ, because of the freaking Basti. However, if you rock Mudshot, maybe they're inclined to swap out, and if I want to lose to a single team, it's not to that team, that toxic ass team, which I do eventually want to try for myself, because I do think it's incredibly toxic. But there's no worse feeling in the world than knowing the goddamn team and then still losing to it. So, if you don't want to lose to that team, rock this team. I'm still going to try to make Dragonite work. Somebody recommended a double dragon backline. However, I've been seeing a shit ton of fairies recently. So it might be a little more difficult to try that. But definitely Poliwrath's out. There's too many Poliwrath responses. Sandslash could be a good suitable replacement, but then you're still kind of weak to a flyer in the lead, especially if you're rocking Shadow Claw. But I really like this team. I hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know how you did it, and I'll catch you in that next video. Peace.